I'm Russell Leidick, and you are watching the Dangerous Fishbowl channel. This is Dancing with Rainbows in August of 2021, fully 20 months after construction began. The title refers as much to the two species of rainbow fish within as to the colorful choreography of the population as a whole. This is also my entry into the 2021 Aquatic Gardeners Association competition. I have no illusions about the fact that this is likely to be a controversial composition for various reasons, so before posting a comment, please listen to the entire video. I'll try to put some helpful links in the description, including links to the competition photos when they're published this November. To begin with, there's neither a filter involved here nor even a power head. There's no air pump or CO2 supply. And for that matter, there's not even a heater because the room is kept at a constant 26 degrees Celsius. I do fertilize though. I use about a milliliter of Sechem Flourish, not Flourish XL, once a week. The fish and plants are otherwise symbiotic. The substrate, for its part, is pool filter sand with a typical diameter of about 2 millimeters. I enriched it with a handful of clay pellets, but I'm not sure that they actually made much difference above and beyond what the fish contributed. The water comes mostly from reverse osmosis, although I've experimented with various fractions of tap water throughout the course of development, so the total dissolved solids have ranged from about 8 all the way to about 150 parts per million. In hindsight though, I'm not sure that I ever noticed much difference either way. The lighting is supplied via two IKEA Arid floor lamps, each equipped with a 17 watt 6500 Kelvin 2350 lumen Philips daylight LED bulb. Now, to my knowledge, this is the largest glass bubble bowl that money can buy. I paid about $87 for it at a local glass shop, and before you ask, I'll try to provide a link to another source in the description. It's about 47 centimeters in diameter. The thickness looks to be about 6 millimeters based on the rim, but this is an optical illusion due to the angle of the cut. It actually narrows to only around 2 millimeters at the equator, so this is definitely not suitable for home environments involving careless people or roaming animals. Trust me, you wouldn't want to be anywhere near an exploding glass bowl that would throw about 40 liters of water and thousands of shards of glass all over the room, not to mention so many fish. Also, you'll notice that I haven't filled it all the way to the rim. This is not for safety reasons, as I have in fact tested its durability to full capacity. It's just my way of ensuring adequate oxygen concentration. I know I've succeeded in this regard because the bottom of the water column is teeming with fish in the morning when the concentration is at its minimum. Also in the morning, I always find some accumulated biofilm on the surface, which I skim off into a plastic cup. I also recommend plastic cups for maintenance because they can't crack the glass. Just make sure that none of the fish get caught in the cup. Anyway, I suspect that the biofilm is composed of oils from food or rotting vegetation. After skimming, I feed them micropellets, followed by a smaller snack of the same around lunchtime. I always stop feeding immediately when I notice that they're losing appetite. Even so, I could feed them more, but that would actually reduce their lifespans and pollute the water, so I don't. Speaking of maintenance, I have 4 Otocinclus catfish in here who help to suppress the green spot algae, although I still need to clean the glass once in a while. I use one of the newer green and yellow dish scrubbing sponges which says it cannot scratch glass. For areas which are more difficult to access, a toothbrush seems to do the trick. There are also a significant number of Amano and Neocaridina shrimp who assist in garbage collection as well. So you're probably wondering what other fish I've got in here. If I recall, they are 1 female Betta, 6 glow-light tetras, 3 silver-tip tetras, 13 ember tetras, 16 cardinal tetras, 5 black neons, 3 gertrudae rainbowfish, and 2 boesemani rainbowfish, who I suspect are both male. Granted, I might be slightly mistaken about the quantities of the smaller fish. The plants include anubias, bucephalendra, and microsorum, all of which attach to the driftwood, physidens and vesicularia mosses, Quasistigma and Marsilea ground cover, a Nymphea tiger lily, various cryptocorny species, and Helanthemum tenellum, formerly known as Echinodurus tenellus. By the way, the boesemani rainbows ended up here by accident due to a water emergency in their previous accommodation. I threw them in here as a precaution several months ago, but they've remained ever since. Attempting to capture them would likely destroy the aquascape. Even so, I do plan to release them as soon as I can find a suitable long-term accommodation. I mention all this because, inevitably, someone is bound to harass me about it in the comments, as though I have no awareness of the fact that they ought to be housed in a more spacious home. Now, having said that, please understand that this bowl has an internal circumference of around 145 centimeters. They could literally run loops around it and never bump into anything if they so desired. Nevertheless, as you can see, they spend most of their time distracted by other fish. They're also adolescents, which means that the bowl is effectively larger for them than it would otherwise be were they adults. But the bottom line is that they're behaving like happy fish. They're not pacing nervously up and down the glass, sulking on the bottom, or hyperventilating at the surface. Look, too many people seem to consider themselves experts on fish neurology, erroneously imputing human cognition upon aquarium fish with comparatively tiny brains and radically different brain architecture, when they would do better to just observe their behavior for clues as to their psychological state. That said, I certainly do care about their happiness and will relocate them as soon as possible, which is feasible now that the aquascape has already been published. No doubt some of you just want me to shut up for a few minutes so you can enjoy the aquascape. If that's the case, then I will happily take it as a compliment, and you have nothing to fear because I have a lot more Dancing with Rainbows content to publish in the future. So hit the subscribe button if you wish to be notified when it comes online. Production takes time, and there shall be no wine before it's time. And by the way, I'm an objectivist at heart, so if you liked this video, then please click the like button. But if you hated it, then by all means click the dislike button. In either case, thanks for listening, and I hope I've inspired you to create your very own natural work of art.